What's going on, everybody? It's Jay here from Nerd Takes, and today I wanted to give you my take on The Penguin Season 1. So, the first season of The Penguin has officially wrapped up, and there is a lot of buzz surrounding this show right now, and it's for good reason. So, I wanted to share my thoughts on it. Right off the bat, I want to say that I absolutely loved this show. I thought it was excellent. There's so many things that they not only did well, but absolutely knocked out of the park on this one. And when it comes to thinking back on all the great things this show was able to do, you really can't start with a better place than the acting. Colin Farrell reprises his role as Oswald Cobb, aka the Penguin, from 2022's The Batman. And if you thought he was unrecognizable in that one, then you're going to be blown away by the job he does in this. When you talk about an actor losing themselves in a role and turning in a career highlight performance, this is an example of the gold standard of exactly that. His performance as the Penguin, along with great writing, takes the character on a journey that's rough and gritty, but also at the same time, he's likable and full of heart, and just as quickly turns into hauntingly grim choices and decisions that all lead to the character becoming the ruthless kingpin style crime boss that he's destined to be. I strongly believe that this is some of Colin Farrell's best work as an actor, and that is not an exaggeration. But the beauty of this show is that it's not just him turning in a stellar performance. The acting across the board in this is incredibly strong. Actress Kristen Milotti turns in an incredible and unsettling performance as Sophia Falcone. Her character takes you on the ride of one's own sanity that, much like the Penguin's character, makes you feel so many different emotions throughout the story. She is absolutely brilliant in this and deserves just as much praise as Colin Farrell. Renzi Feliz, who plays Victor, is another actor who turns in an incredibly strong performance. His ability to convey the equally as great writing of the character throughout his acting adds a lot of heart to the show that it needs to balance out some of the grim nature of the story. And it makes Victor such a likable character and even relatable in many ways, even though he's in a world that most people would never venture into. And the compliments for actors doesn't stop there. Even the actors with roles of varying sizes make the most of their screen time, such as Clancy Brown, Deirdre O'Connell, and Michael Kelly, for example. And there's many others to go along with that. I can't stress enough how much I appreciated the quality of acting throughout the entire series. Another aspect I'd like to highlight, and it's one that I just mentioned a bit while talking about the acting, is the writing. Part of the reason the actors were able to turn in such amazing performances was because the writing for this show is great. I mean, it's legitimately some of the best writing of not only any show I've seen this year, but of any show I've seen in some time. It's very well written and strong in terms of logic and consistency. It's not perfect in that regard, but few things really are. The story itself is dark and twisted, it's gritty and gruesome, but it's also heartfelt at times and sad in ways that make you feel for some of these characters, even though they aren't good people. There's some plot twists that truly catch you completely off guard, and they even find ways to add subtle humor that works to bring down some of the tension in the show in ways that doesn't undercut the tone. It's everything you'd want out of a show like this that's taking on this kind of story. Now, for me personally, oftentimes when you've done as great of a job as this show has in terms of acting and writing, everything else that you do well is just icing on the cake. And this show is a great example of exactly that. For example, the look of this show is phenomenal. I love the look and the feel of Gotham, and it comes off as the perfect environment for these characters in this story. And along with the look of the world, the look of the characters deserves an award, specifically the look of Penguin himself. Now, they did a great job with everyone. Sophia's costume design, for example, is another highlight. But the makeup and prosthetics work that they used to transform Colin Farrell into the Penguin is some of the best I've ever seen. I mean, you truly do not see him in this role, and you only see the Penguin. In my honest opinion, I think they've reset the standard for costume and makeup for a series. There's just so much to like about this show, and it's not to say that it's perfect, because there are a few examples of writing that doesn't have the tightest of logic, and there is an episode right in the middle of the season that's pretty slow, and honestly, it wasn't great. It felt like a filler episode with more substance than your average mid season filler episode, but outside of that, I don't have a lot of criticism for the show. I genuinely thought it was an excellent show. For me, it's easily one of my top two favorite shows of the year, alongside The Gentleman. I need a little bit more time to digest it a bit to see if it takes the number one spot of those two, but I will say I'm strongly leaning towards ranking it number one. I highly recommend this one, even if you haven't seen the Batman movie. It's an excellent story that comes to life through brilliant writing and acting and top notch costumes, makeup, and scenery. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back again with another review soon.